Welcome to this episode of the story. Have you subscribed yet? Chapter 159, Time Reverse Rune Analysis. Escaping the Maze. Su Mu stood at the edge of the spiritual energy maze's exit, his gaze fixed on the ancient runes glowing with mysterious light on the walls. He knew well that these runes held the key to unraveling the maze's secrets and, in turn, finding the Eye of the Spirit abyss. Behind him, his teammates gathered, their eyes filled with both anticipation and worry, uncertain if Su Mu could successfully decipher the runes and lead them out of this dangerous labyrinth. Su Mu took a deep breath, channeling his time-reversing spiritual energy slowly into his fingertips, which he gently pressed against the runes. In an instant, a powerful and unfamiliar surge of spiritual energy traveled up his arm, attempting to repel his time-reversing energy. But Su Mu did not retreat. He focused all his concentration, and his time-reversing spiritual energy poured forth like a tide, forcing its way to merge with the rune's energy. Under the influence of the time-reversing spiritual energy, the rune's light began to flicker erratically. The once still lines of the runes seemed to come alive, twisting and writhing, exuding an even more mysterious aura. Su Mu widened his eyes, jingding the rune's changes, striving to catch a single clue. However, the temporal laws contained within the runes were profoundly esoteric. Each attempt to parse them felt like sinking into an endless fog, with no clear path forward. As time ticked by, fine beads of sweat formed on Su Mu's forehead and slid down his cheeks. Yet his gaze grew ever more resolute. He continuously adjusted the frequency and intensity of his time-reversing spiritual energy, trying to comprehend the information the runes conveyed from different angles. Finally, through his unremitting efforts, the rune's light stabilized briefly, and blurry images began to surface before his eyes. These images were like memories from ancient times. In them, a group of robed mystics surrounded the maze, chanting obscure incantations and waving their hands in the air, infusing powerful spiritual energy into the runes. Su Mu realized that these runes were layers of mechanisms set by ancient powerhouses to guard the Eye of the Spirit abyss, and the temporal laws they contained were the core to unlocking the maze. Su Mu focused intently on every detail in the images, seeking the connection between the runes and the laws of time. He discovered that the arrangement of the runes seemed to correspond subtly to the flow of time, each rune representing a specific node in the river of time. But linking these nodes to find the correct path to the exit was no easy task. Just as Su Mu fell into deep thought, a low rumble echoed through the maze, as if something enormous was drawing near. His teammates tensed immediately, gripping their spiritual weapons tightly and watching their surroundings warily. Su Mu's heart tightened. He knew the maze's defense mechanisms had detected their attempts to poison it and were striking back. Fog rapidly billowed forth from the maze's passages, thick enough to blur even nearby objects. Within the fog, vague figures loomed, closing in quickly. Su Mu immediately channeled his time-reversing spiritual energy, forming a transparent shield around them, and shouted, "Be careful. These might be the maze's guardian puppets." No sooner had he spoken than a group of tall, icy-aurid puppets charged out of the fog. Covered in runes, wielding sharp weapons, their eyes glowed with cold Shai. Without hesitation, they swung their weapons and attacked. Su Mu was the first to meet them, his spiritual weapon blazing with time-reversing light as it clashed with a puppet's weapon. The powerful impact numbed his arm, but he used the unique power of his time-reversing energy to deflect part of the blow. His teammates joined the fray, their spiritual energy skills flashing through the fog in a fierce battle against the puppets. Yet these puppets were stronger than expected. Their defenses were sturdy, their attacks fierce, each strike resonating with powerful spiritual energy. Under their relentless assault, the group struggled to hold their ground. Su Mu knew this couldn't go on. He had to decipher the runes and find the exit quickly, or they would all be in danger. While fending off the puppets, Su Mu continued trying to parse the runes. Amidst the intense combat, a sudden insight struck him, a possible method to poison them. He concentrated all his time-reversing energy, compressing it into an extremely condensed force, and infused it into the runes once more. This time, the runes flared brilliantly, and the previously vague temporal clues sharpened. Following this lead, Sumu quickly searched the maze walls for matching runes. He realized that activating them in a specific order would open a path to the exit. Dodging puppet attacks, Sumu moved swiftly, activating the runes in sequence. As they lit up, the maze walls glowed and a bright passage gradually took shape. "Follow me closely. We found the exit," Sumu exclaimed excitedly. His teammates, heartened, hurried toward him. But the puppets, sensing their intent, attacked even more Fumquanlai to block their escape. Sumu knew time was critical. He unleashed his strongest time-reversing move, Time Reverse Storm. A powerful surge of temporal energy erupted from him, enveloping all nearby puppets. Under the storm's effect, the puppets' movements slowed, their attacks weakening. Seizing the chance, Sumu led his teammates down the passage at top speed. Runes flickered along the sides, as if guiding them. At last, they emerged through the passage to the maze's exit. Before them lay a vast spiritual pool, its surface calm as a mirror, reflecting the clouds above. Suspended in the pool's center was a faintly glowing crystal, its spiritual energy fluctuation matching the eye of the spirit abyss they sought. Undoubtedly their long-sought target. Sumu and his group approached the pool slowly, their eyes fixed on the crystal, hearts filled with excitement and reverence. Just as Sumu reached out to take it, the ground around the pool shook violently, cracks spreading like a spiderweb. Then, guardian puppets rose from the earth, surrounding them. These puppets exuded far stronger spiritual energy than those in the maze. "It seems we must pass this test first to claim the Eye of the Spirit Abyss," Sumu murmured, gripping his spiritual weapon, his gaze resolute. His teammates assumed battle stances, ready for the fierce fight to come. The story continues and the next episodes will be even more exciting. Subscribe as soon as possible.